Welcome to the Retirement's Next Steps podcast. I'm your host, Jill Templeton-Haislip, Global Real Estate Advisor and Senior Real Estate Specialist with Russ Lyon Sotheby's International Realty DeGeorge Partners. This podcast is a valuable resource for retirees looking to connect with industry experts who can enhance your retirement experience. With so many companies, products, and services available, it can be overwhelming to know where to start. Let us help you navigate through it all and find the resources you truly need to make the most of your retirement years. As always, you can join us in person with each of our industry experts for the full presentation every month on the last Thursday at 4 p.m. Our office is located at 16872 East Avenue of the Fountains, Suite 103 in Fountain Hills, Arizona. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get started. Mutual of Omaha. Richelle, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Jill.
Richelle is a home equity retirement specialist, and this is very close to my heart. Retirement, of course, Retirement Next Steps Workshop. So Richelle, let's just go ahead and dive in. What exactly does redesigning retirement mean?
Awesome, Jill. Well, once upon a time, people designed their retirement off pensions, right? Those aren't around any longer, or very few are left.
Yes.
And people are entering retirement today, and they fear longevity. They fear they're going to outlive their money, outlive their assets that they've built up in retirement. And so taking a look at their home equity, which is typically the largest asset in retirement, they can now look at how to redesign their retirement that they kind of felt hopeless entering because, again, no pensions. Am I going to outlive my money? And so when they look at what a reverse mortgage can do in their retirement, it is a sense of relief and excitement where now they can redesign it.
And I love that you said excitement because from the very first day that I've met you, you are so excited about reverse mortgages and home equity conversion mortgages.
I love them.
And I think that's wonderful because we need to find people who are passionate about their specialty. And this is 100% your specialty. You don't do any other loans, correct?
Correct. My 20 years in the industry, I've only done reverse mortgages.
I love that. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what inspired you to get into this line?
I'll just say it's a God thing, really, Jill. I took a part-time summer job at a tiny little reverse mortgage office. And when I thought I was going to go get a, quote, real job, my degree is in psychology, and I originally wanted to work with high school seniors and help them figure out what is the next phase of life. Is it trade school? Is it university, community college? And I took this part-time summer job, loved it so much that when I thought I was going to go get a real job working with high school seniors, my mentor said, wait, I think you're a great fit here. And so when I say a God thing, it's really cool because I still work with seniors today, just not the high school seniors. Yep. These are the seniors that are 62 and older entering retirement. So I can help them figure out retirement instead of the high school senior figuring out their future.
I think that's wonderful. I love that
Thank
story.
You.
Okay, so reverse mortgages. Go ahead and give us a easy definition because I think a lot of people get confused by them. How would you explain a reverse mortgage?
It's really just a mortgage. There's two big differences.
Okay.
Number one, age. A traditional mortgage, the borrower can be as young as 18 if they qualify, right? With a reverse mortgage, at least one borrower, I'll call them. Now, they can be younger than 62, but at least one borrower must be 62 years or older.
So in a couple situation.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So age difference, right, from a regular versus a reverse. And then also the monthly payment component, which is the biggest attraction to this. In a reverse mortgage, no monthly payment required on the mortgage for as long as one of the borrowers, if there's two, for as long as they live in the home, versus a regular mortgage, they have to make a monthly payment month after month, year after year until that is paid off. Now, what's really nice with the reverse mortgage, they can choose to make voluntary payments if they want to. They can pay it off if they want to. There's no prepayment penalty. They're just not required to make that monthly mortgage payment. They do still pay taxes and insurance or any HOAs. Yeah. But that's the big difference from a traditional mortgage and a reverse mortgage. But it is simple as this. They are tapping, again, the borrowers, the 62 or older, at least one of them, they're tapping into this equity and they're utilizing it, number one, maybe to pay off a traditional mortgage. It might be to update their home. It might be to pay off those credit cards. It might be to visit the grandkids. Whatever their retirement goals are, they can utilize that equity without having the monthly mortgage payment. So again, very different than a traditional mortgage. They tap into the equity, no monthly mortgage payment.
And I think it's really important for folks to understand that a lot of times, they've lived in their home for a long period of time. Obviously, home prices typically have gone up. They have all this equity. Sure, we want to help out our kids and our heirs and whoever that may be, but why not take advantage of what you've worked so hard for?
Yes.
And so that's exactly what this reverse mortgage is doing for folks.
Absolutely. And Jill, the landscape has changed in many different ways, but if you look back at when my grandma did her reverse mortgage in 2005, she was completely against it at first. She said, no, Norval, who was my papa who passed away. Norval and I have worked our whole life to pay this house off and pass it on to you girls. It was my mom and my two aunts. And it was my mom and my two aunts who went to her and said, look, if there's anything left in the home when you're no longer here, that's okay, but we want this home to take care of you. And more adult children have that attitude. Hey, look, mom and dad, you've worked your life taking care of us. Let the home now take care of you.
I love that. And that's for folks who are staying in their home.
Correct.
So let's talk about those who want to go ahead and purchase a new home. Maybe they need to right size into a better situation. What is the option for that?
Oh my gosh, Jill, this is my favorite way how to use a reverse mortgage. So back in 2009, FHA allowed the ability with a reverse mortgage to purchase a new home. Okay. This is amazing to help people get into the home that is really fit for their needs, right? I have a lot of clients today that might have two-story homes, that might have homes that they have deferred maintenance, that have a home that maybe it was fit when they had children, but now their children are gone, and now they feel that they want to get into a community with like-minded, maybe an active adult community. So there's many different reasons why people might want to use a reverse mortgage. Well, no, I'm sorry. There's a lot of different reasons why people may opt to find a new home versus stay in that old home. So when you purchase with the reverse mortgage, you make that one-time down payment based on age and interest rates. I'm just going to say about 60 to 65%. Make that one-time down payment and never have a monthly mortgage payment. So this helps buyers increase their purchasing price, right?
Absolutely.
They're selling their home that they adored and they lived in for years, and they're walking away. But they realize the purchase price, what is today versus back then. Wait, we need more money, but we don't want a mortgage payment, right? So this loan will allow them to get into that home that they really can now afford. Or it will also help them preserve cash in their pockets. So for example, if you have a cash buyer, hey, Jill, we have $500,000 cash. Can you please help us find this patio home or whatever the home is? They might look at this loan now and say, hey, wait a second. If I can still buy that $500,000 home, but only put $300,000 cash down and no monthly mortgage payment, think of the things that they could do with that extra couple $100,000 in retirement.
Right. And why wouldn't you?
That I ask Jill whenever I go into a consultation, I ask, is this your forever home?
Okay.
A lot of times people think that that is their only option, the home that they've lived in for so many years and built up this equity that they can now use the reverse mortgage to pay off bills, to do whatever they want to in retirement, right? But in reality, Jill, that home might be a two-story home. It might have the deferred maintenance. It truly isn't their forever home, but they were using the reverse mortgage as a Band-Aid option.
Okay. There's a lot of myths surrounding reverse mortgages, home equity conversion mortgages. I think that I know a lot has changed over the years. So can you tell us a little bit about what did it used to be when it became real scary and people didn't want to do them? And now you see that it's more common and people are much more comfortable with that. So kind of what has changed and what's maybe one myth that you want to share with us?
Yeah, well, I can start off with the biggest myth, and that they think the home is now owned by the bank.
Yes.
And that is not the case. Back in the 60s, we'll call it, when reverse mortgages first came out, you did have private lenders that would put their name on title with the homeowner. So indeed, when that homeowner passed away, the bank then got the home. That is something I educate day after day to day. That actually has not been a fact of HECM reverse mortgages since the late 1980s. Once FHA got involved securing the reverse mortgages, it is just the homeowner themselves who are on title. So again, old school myth, but I still educate today about that. There have been many positive changes through the years with reverse mortgage. As I mentioned, at least one borrower has to be 62 years or older. Back in the day, when I say back in the day, back when I first got into the business in 2004 to maybe 2011.
When she was 12.
Thank you. It had to be, we had to take the other one off title if they were not 62.
I didn't know that. Okay.
And if you can imagine how risky that is, right?
Yeah.
If the one who is off title, let's say something happens to the one that is still on title, guess what? That spouse who is not 62 had to figure it out, meaning they had to sell that home within 6 months to get from under the loan or figure out how to repay this. So that has been one big positive outcome
for sure
through the years.
Yeah.
Only one borrower now has to be 62.
Had the opportunity to be able to refer clients over to you and walk through the process with you. One of my favorite aspects of it is that you are hands-on. And when I say hands-on, it's not she's just sending you an email. It's she is physically going to the home and meeting with the clients, or they're coming into the office. And I think that that's something really important for people to understand, that when you use a local individual such as yourself, that you're going to do the sit down, let's sign the paperwork together as we're going over it, not I'm handing you over to title.
Right.
Talk a little bit about why you think that that's so important. Obviously, I 100% agree with it, but tell our viewers why that's an important component of how you do your business.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jill, I thrive off having a relationship-based business versus just a transaction. So I was introduced into the business by a fantastic mentor, like I shared with you. And she taught me, like, that's how you do it. You show up and you walk people through it and you explain, you educate. Education is key with this loan.
Yes.
There are a lot of commercials on TV. If you are age qualified, you're probably getting a lot of stuff in the mail, right? Those are transaction based. I promise to come in and treat you like my own parents or grandparents. Now, I will say, one of my favorite things about my job is the experience that I got to be part of through the journey of my clients, meaning even 20 years ago, an 80-year-old then is very different than an 80-year-old today. But I remember, Jill, showing up at their homes. They have the little dainty napkins ready for you. They have the teapot ready. And really, that was the only way how I knew to do business. And so I blame it on that generation that has elevated my service experience, but in such a great way. But I say blame because I have that same expectation when I go out for service now. So I have to let my expectations sink a little bit. But I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to work with this generation, whether it's an 80-year-old 20 years ago, an 80-year-old today. Regardless, though, these are the people that service is very important, and I commit to that.
And, I think a lot of people, we use technology because we have to, but for some folks, they don't want to have to use it, especially when you're going through, and DocuSign is great, but it's not for everybody. And so giving that personal touch, I think, is extremely important. So being in the industry with you, I very much appreciate it. And I know that our clients definitely do appreciate it.
Thank you.
If there's one important thing that you want everybody to walk away from today, what would that be?
That would be, do not think of this loan as a last resort. Back in the day, that used to be our ideal audience. The homeowner who could no longer make a mortgage payment, and then they looked at a reverse mortgage as a last resort. They are encouraged to look at this loan in their early stages of retirement. Why? Because it will preserve other assets. We know what interest rates are today, right? We have a good idea of what home values are. If they wait until they run through all their other assets and then they look at a reverse mortgage, say 10, 15, 20 years later, we don't know, right? What the rate's going to be, what the value is going to be. Are they going to qualify? So I encourage people, look at this loan, get educated at least in the very initial stages of retirement so they know what all options are.
I agree. What is the best way for people to get in touch with you?
So my website is ihecm.com. My telephone number is 602-312-7801. That is my cell phone. I do give that out to my clients, to my partners, to my prospects to always get in touch with me. If I'm not available, leave a message and either myself or my assistant will get back to you.
Wonderful. And then I know that you and I have gone and partnered together on Moon Valley home tours. Do you want to share a little bit with everybody about what that venture is?
Yes. So Jill, I love that you're a senior real estate specialist because you get it. Like you understand what it is to work with this generation, the service they deserve, the thoroughness. And it was a very natural collaboration for you and I, especially once you started to highlight the crevices of Moon Valley, Phoenix, Arizona, what beauty there is, and the potential for retirees to be attracted to that area, or those longtime residents in that area who are like, look, you might want to continue living in this area, but Moon Valley, there might be other homes for you. And so you and I, we got together. This is open to the public.
Yes. And I think that's really important to stress with folks, that it is not a realtor to realtor home tour. It is for everybody who's watching this. Bring your friends, bring everybody. We want you guys to come and take a look at the homes.
Yep.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's great. It is, because most are business to business,
Yes.
right? This is for the clients or their adult children, their advisors to come, just take a look what is out there in Moon Valley, have some great community building. We finish it off with happy hour. But I love that you're able to identify homes or activities within Moon Valley that fits this group of people for retirees. And then I come in and help them how to redesign it and actually make it reality.
Exactly. So. Yes. So it's a good opportunity to learn about Moon Valley, but learn about what are the other resources that are out there and available to you. We also have home specialists that we've partnered with. So it's a really great collaboration. Getting the community together and being a resource for individuals as well. Is there anything else that you would like to share with people today? We hope that everybody has enjoyed listening to all of the information. Reverse mortgages and home equity conversion mortgages are a lot of information. So I'm sure that there are people that are listening to this that are like, whoa, I promise you that Richelle will take the time to go through every single detail with you and as much time as it takes. But what else would you like to share today to make sure that people really get a good grasp on all of this?
You hit it all, Jill. Like if you're age qualified or approaching, let's just have a conversation. I love to see that light bulb go off when people are like, oh my gosh, this can make that reality for me. And so I'm flattered to be part of that.
Let me ask actually one more question, something that I don't want to forget about.
Sure.
Talk about the counselor real fast. I think that that's really key for a lot of individuals, especially I would say the kids who are assisting their parents in this process.
Yes. So in order to move forward with a reverse mortgage, the consumer is required to take about a 45-minute telephone conversation from a HUD-approved counselor, educating them from a non-lender point of view about the A, B's, and C's of the reverse mortgage. Now, I always tell my clients during that consultation before they go to counseling, my goal is for my clients to finish that session and say, what a waste of time, because that means I've done my job. But
that's a good point.
But not all lenders work like that. But like you said, it is a great opportunity for the adult children to tune in, put the call on speakerphone, ask questions as well. However, I also encourage the adult children or advisors to be part of the consultation as well. But that counseling that you mentioned, it is mandatory in order to move forward with a reverse mortgage.
And I think that from my experience, talking with some folks through it, they feel like it's just an extra box to check off because there was that stigma behind the reverse mortgages for years. And I think it just kind of gives people peace of mind. Would
Correct.
you say that's fair?
Absolutely. They want to make sure that the lender is disclosing the closing costs, the interest rate. I was going to say you'd be surprised, but not really, because I know you've been in the business working with this sensitive demographic for years. But as you can imagine, they're vulnerable, right?
Yes.
And so it's just making sure that they have that full education to know what they're getting into before they move forward.
Perfect. Go ahead and share your contact information one more time.
One more time. My website, ihecm.com. Telephone number 602-312-7801. And Jill, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Retirement's Next Steps podcast. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me at 303-204-4432 or via email at jill@degeorgepartners.com. If you would like to attend one of our Retirement's Next Steps workshops, you can find the schedule on our website at Templeton-Haislip.com. Make sure to subscribe to Retirement's Next Steps YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn. Wishing you a happy and fulfilling retirement. We look forward to connecting with you again soon.
Okay, we're good.